Flat pedals seem to be the choice for many of us e-mountain bikers, but what are we missing out on by not using clipless pedals when it comes to the speed that we ride our bikes at and the range that we get from our batteries? So what exactly is the difference in data from each pedal setup when we hit exactly the same loop? Let's go hit the trails and find out. Well, the chat between clips and flats is big here between EMBN, GMBN, and indeed GCN. In fact, Steve recently did a summary of the views of Blake versus Doddy, two very different people who have different ideas about which pedal is the one to be using. But today I wanted to find out if there really is any difference in the speed that you ride at and the range that you get from your battery when it comes to using each different pedal on our e-mountain bikes. So for today's ride, I'm going to be riding exactly the same bike with exactly the same setup around this fixed 10-kilometer loop. The only difference is that one ride is going to be on flat pedals and the next lap is going to be on clip pedals. We're going to be looking at the time it takes and also the watt hours consumed from our battery. So the pedals that I'm using for today's ride are the Horizon pedals from Nukeproof, coming in clips and of course flats. The shoes I'm wearing, but for the flat pedals, it's going to be a shoe from Endura, and for the clip models, well, that's going to be a shoe from 510, pretty much a standard trail setup. For me, when I ride my e-mountain bike, it's all about using flat pedals because me and clips, well, we don't have the best relationship. Of course, I did the classic falling off into the bush when I come to a stop. Ah! The damn thing's filling up with mud. God, these things are a waste of time. God, where is it? Struggling to clip back in. Oh my God. And lastly, feeling like Bambi on ice when it comes to hitting that tech slippy terrain. Anyhow, after all of that, I've persevered with these things and I'm truly ready for the ride today. So what are the pros and cons of using a clip pedal then? Well, many people say a clipless pedal offers better power transfer, they're more efficient and can give an improved connection between the bike and the rider in rough terrain. On the downside though, they can be tricky to clip back into after a stall on the trail, they can clog up in muddy conditions and can sometimes knock confidence in super technical terrain. So what are the pros and cons when it comes to using the flat pedals then? Well, they're just pretty simple to use. You can use any footwear that you like. It's easy to get your foot out on those big corners, easy to pedal straight away, and they clear mud easily. And you can learn some good techniques too. However, they're supposedly less efficient than clips due to the pull-push effect that you can get from a clipless pedal versus the push only of a flat. So will the fact that I can push as well as pull have an effect on battery use and how many watt hours difference, if any? Right. Let's get this ride underway then. First lap is going to be on my flat pedals. Now this is my go-to pedals for riding my e-mountain bike. And to keep things fair on this test, I'm going to be in trail mode and I've got my Garmin on board to make sure I'm working at the same efforts on both these laps. So when it gets tight like this is where flats are definitely a godsend. Really let you move the bike around on these slow speed maneuvers. If I was on clips, I'd probably be in a heap by now. So on smooth fire road climbs like this is where I think the clips will definitely have an advantage over those flats. You've got no technical terrain. It's all about putting that spin into the pedals. And this is where I think you can get that extra miles per hour and maybe more from your battery. Whew. Right, some interesting results in then from the flat pedals. Let's have a bit of a bite to eat, something to drink, rest for 5, and then go do it all again on the clips. Right, so that's the ride out of the way on the flat pedals, and that's definitely one of my favorite ways to be riding my e-bike, slipping and sliding around, not having to worry about getting that foot out, super easy and definitely a load of fun. But let's see what the results say. So I've downloaded all the data from my Garmin to the Connect app on my phone, and let's have a scroll through all the details. So first up, the average speed that I was riding at was 12.8 miles per hour. A couple of different sections on this. We had an uphill climb and a downhill section, so we'll look at the times on these. So the uphill climb, which was the longest climb on the ride, took 3 minutes and 57 seconds. And the longest downhill run, well, that was 1 minute and 13 seconds. The time taken to complete the ride was 32 minutes and 16 seconds. And the watt hours, or the power that was consumed by the bike, was 161 watt hours. Heart rate was 141 average with 184 max. And the whole feel of that ride, well, I just felt it was a load of fun. Maybe wasn't the quickest, but I definitely had a load of fun drifting in and out. I could hit everything with confidence, not worrying about dabbing my foot, sliding around. Definitely a load of fun, but I think it's time we head back up to the van, put the clips on and see what they say. Right, the clips are on. I've had a bit of rest time, ready to hit that 10K loop again to see how much difference these pedals might make. Oh, I'm in. Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, we are. We're away. I can definitely feel the power of these clips coming into play on this now. Whoa. Just that spin you get from the clips is outrageous. Now, the biggest difference that I notice when riding on clips is that explosive power, how much speed you get. I used to race a bit of four cross back in the day, and you actually needed those things to get out the gate fast, otherwise the fast boys would just be gone. But on an e-bike, I'm wondering whether you need that explosive power. You've got that explosive power on tap, obviously coming from your motor. Right, the loop is complete on the clip pedals this time, and there wasn't anything too sketchy to report, no crashes or anything like that. But what I do have to report is the all-important results. So kicking things off with a clip loop, the average speed that I rode round the loop at was 13.2 miles per hour compared to that 12.8 on flats. The longest climb took me 3 minutes and 47 seconds, which was 10 seconds faster than the flat pedals. Downhill, we were going faster again at 108, so that's 5 seconds faster than the flat pedals. And the time taken to complete the overall ride was 31 minutes and 22 seconds, and that's 54 seconds faster than the flat pedals. And battery power used, and the power that I used for this ride was 164 watt hours. So that's 3 watt hours more on clips. And I think that's just due to the higher speeds that I was riding each section at, so not quite as efficient as the flats. Heart rate, maximum was 180 max and 139 average, so slightly lower on the average and maximum. And the whole ride feel and the experience of clips versus flats, well, I think the clips were definitely a lot smoother and faster and felt more powerful on the smoother terrain, but I definitely did feel on edge, you know, in the slippy terrain and when I wanted to commit to a corner or things got a little bit loose. But what should you choose to be riding your e-mountain bike? Well, if it's for out and out average speed to complete a ride, it looks like clips take the win. And also to go up and down the hill, the clips win gold again. Also, I had a lower average and max heart rate on clips again, so lots of gold medals going to those. But the downside to all the speed is that you're using more watt hours purely as you're going faster all of the time. so showing it as they're not quite as efficient on this particular ride, but that could definitely change given a different style of ride into the one that we have today. But let us know your findings on clip pedals versus flats. Which one do you prefer, or which one do you find that you get more mileage out of your battery from? Make sure you give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe to EMBN also, and whilst you're there subscribing, make sure you get in the merch shop and check out all the latest new kit.